If you thought you'd seen locker room drama, betrayal, and pure NFL chaos, think again. Because tonight, the Cleveland Browns' quiet little operation just blew up in front of the entire football world. This is Spill News, where secrets leak, lies collapse, and the truth punches harder than a blitzing linebacker. Andrew Berry, the calm, calculated GM, finally snapped. And the man he snapped on? Head coach Kevin Stefanski. Why? Because Stefanski just made the kind of decision that turns a franchise upside down. Choosing Dillon to start against the 49ers while Shedeur Sanders, the rookie breakout, the chosen one, the new hope of Cleveland, sat on the sideline watching his respect evaporate in real time. And the internet couldn't believe it. And trust me, you won't either. Fans called it disrespect. Analysts said it was sabotage. Some even claimed it was a beginning of silent civil war inside the Browns building. But here's the real question. If you were in Shedeur's place, same disrespect, same humiliation, same spotlight, what would you do? Would you stay quiet? Would you clap back? Or would you finally snap just like Barry did? Let's break it all down, and trust me, it gets uglier. It all started long before the cameras caught anything. Long before the 49ers game. Long before Dillon touched the field. The tension inside the Browns facility wasn't loud, but was there, sitting in the corners, hiding in the hallways, weighing on every conversation. People didn't talk about it directly, but they felt it. You know, that kind of silence where everyone pretends things are normal, even though every instinct in the room is screaming that something is wrong. That's exactly where this entire storm began. Shedeur Sanders walked into this franchise with pressure most rookies could never imagine. Being Deion Sanders' son doesn't give you a free pass. It gives you a target. Every throw, every mistake, every moment is magnified. Some people loved the hype. Others resented it. And quietly, behind the scenes, the people who resented it started multiplying. Stefanski wasn't obvious about it. He wasn't dramatic. He didn't scream, didn't roll his eyes in meetings. He did something worse. He stayed neutral in a way that didn't feel neutral at all. When you believe in a young quarterback, your energy shows. Your excitement leaks. You defend him. You brag about him. But with Shedeur, Stefanski played everything safe. Too safe. Almost like he was keeping distance. And people inside noticed. One assistant coach said in a private group chat, which of course leaked later, "Ick man, Kev don't vibe with number 14. You can feel it." Another replied, "He's still pushing for DG. That's his guy." And when that message thread surfaced weeks later, fans realized these weren't random feelings. This was a pattern. But this story didn't ignite because of one message. It built up through small, subtle moments that didn't make headlines at first. Like the day Shedeur stayed after practice working on timing routes with the receivers. Most coaches would love that. Stefanski? He didn't even glance over. Walked right past him like it was nothing. A small moment, sure, but inside teams, small moments always matter. Or the week Shedeur sat in quarterbacks meetings asking questions, trying to understand the system deeper. Dillon got the compliments. Dillon got the nods. Dillon got the encouragement. Shedeur got generic lines like, "Good work," and "We'll keep reviewing." You know the tone, the one people use when they're pretending to be supportive without actually being supportive. Then came the first big red flag. A leaked DM from a staffer, deleted within minutes. But screenshots live forever. It said, "Barry wants Shedeur, Kev wants DG. This gonna get ugly." And they were right. It did. Because behind closed doors, a quiet tug of war was happening over the future of the team. Andrew Berry believed in Shedeur deeply, not just as a quarterback, but as a long-term franchise piece. The strong arm, the poise, the IQ, the work ethic, he saw everything. He drafted him. He defended him. He believed in him, even when the outside world didn't. Stefanski, his mind was elsewhere. He trusted the familiar, the safe, the predictable, the quarterback who wouldn't rock the boat, the quarterback without a famous father watching every snap. That quarterback was Dillon, and that's where the internal fracture started. But the outside world had no idea this feud was brewing. Not until the week leading up to the 49ers game. That week, something shifted. People inside the building said the mood felt heavy, like everyone knew something big was coming, but nobody wanted to say it out loud. One staffer told a friend over text, another leaked message, if Kev starts Dillon this week, it's going to blow up everything. Another message read, Barry is heated, like really heated. But again, the public didn't hear any of this. Not yet. Shedeur tried to stay away from the noise. He came to practice early. He stayed late. He watched film until his eyes were burning. He didn't complain, didn't argue, didn't question decisions, but he felt the shift. You can always feel it when respect leaves a room. Players noticed it too. Some of the veterans whispered about it in the locker room. They talked quietly, not wanting to get caught on any cameras. But tension doesn't hide. A locker room feels it before anyone else. And that week, you could feel the walls tightening. Then came the moment that broke everything open. The quarterback decision. The 49ers game wasn't just another matchup. It was a statement game. A chance to prove the Browns weren't just a defensive team, but had an offense that could hang with anyone. Fans believed Shedeur should start. Analysts believed it. Even players believed it. His performance the previous week was strong. Strong enough to earn another shot. But Stefanski shocked everyone. He didn't even make it a competition. Didn't hold a debate. Didn't call it a close decision. He chose Dillon. The news hit the internet like a lightning bolt. Fans were stunned. Commentators were confused. Blogs started firing off theories. But inside the building, the reaction was nuclear. When the depth chart updated, Andrew Barrett didn't say a word publicly. But word inside the organization is that he walked straight out of his office and slammed the door behind him. One person described it as the quietest explosion you've ever seen. Players were whispering. Staffers were checking group chats. Even some coaches admitted privately, this might be the breaking point. And Shedeur, he walked into the facility that day with headphones on, hood up, silent, not angry, not crying, not dramatic, just silent. And silence is sometimes louder than shouting, because he knew what it meant. Being passed over isn't the pain. Being ignored is the pain. Being benched isn't betrayal. Being dismissed is a betrayal. And Stefanski didn't just choose Dillon. He didn't even explain it to Shedeur directly. He kept everything professional, cold, procedural. No reassurance. No acknowledgement. No clarity. Just a decision delivered like a memo. And that's when the real divide began. But what came next, even his enemies didn't expect. The explosion didn't start with fans. It didn't start with media. It didn't even start with players. The first spark came from inside the organization, from someone who'd been watching Stefanski's decisions pile up like red flags nobody wanted to acknowledge. Because just hours after Stefanski announced Dillon as a starter, a mysterious anonymous message landed in a private NFL Insider Discord server. No name, no signature, just 7 words. This wasn't football. This was punishment. Those 7 words changed everything. Within minutes, the message spread across group chats, Twitter circles, Reddit threads, and YouTube breakdown channels. Some people dismissed it as rumor, until a second leak dropped. This time, it was a screenshot, a Slack message allegedly from someone inside the Browns analytics department. The message read, GM is livid. Decision wasn't agreed on. And that's when the internet lost its mind. Bloggers fired up their cameras. Podcasts went live. Breaking news, thumbnails popped up like fireworks. Comment sections started boiling. People wanted answers, real ones, not the polished, PR-tested lines the Browns were feeding the media. Because now the scandal had layers. A rookie being ignored, that's one thing. A GM and head coach openly clashing behind the scenes, that's a franchise-level earthquake. And right in the middle was Shedeur Sanders. He stayed silent. Not a tweet, not a repost, not even a cryptic Instagram story. Just like Part 1 said, silence speaks louder than anything. Meanwhile, the game went exactly the way nobody wanted. Dillon struggled. The offense stalled. The 49ers swallowed the Browns' rhythm whole. Every bad throw, every misread, every sack. It all added fuel to the firestorm exploding online. The memes were brutal. The reactions were ruthless. One fan wrote, "We bench Shedeur for this? Jail." Another said, "Stefanski coaching like he wants a new job next season." Even NFL players from other teams started chiming in. One anonymous quote from an NFC starter made the rounds. "Y'all ain't serious starting Dillon over Shad." Somebody in that building hating bad. And it didn't stop there. A video leaked, supposedly recorded from inside the Browns' own locker room, showing Stefanski talking to a coach with his hand covering his mouth. The audio was muffled, but internet detectives amplified the sound, slowed it down, and claimed he said, "Barry's making this harder than it needs to be." Was it authentic? Nobody knows. Was the internet convinced? Absolutely. And once people believe something, facts don't matter. But the Real bomb dropped the next morning. At 8:42 a.m., a verified NFL columnist posted a tweet thread that sent the entire league spinning. The thread alleged that Andrew Barry had already confronted Stefanski privately after the game, and the confrontation was far from calm. According to the insider, Barry accused Stefanski of undermining the franchise direction, damaging rookie confidence, and creating a coaching bias problem. Another tweet said Barry told him directly, "If you're not behind our future, you become the past." That line went viral instantly. ESPN debated it. FS1 debated it. YouTube exploded with theory videos. Twitter ran wild. And what was Shedeur doing while all this chaos erupted? Working out in the Browns' practice facility. Headphones on, hoodie up, not saying a word, not posting a thing, just grinding. But behind that focused exterior, people close to him said he was hurt. Not angry, hurt. Not because he didn't start, but because he wasn't valued. He wasn't respected. When players don't get opportunities, it's disappointing. But when they get ignored, it becomes personal. Then another leak hit the internet, and this one took the scandal from drama to meltdown. A private text exchange between two Brown staffers. Not speculation, not rumor, screenshots. The first message said, "Kev didn't even talk to Shedeur about it. Told the room Dillon was starting and walked out." The second message said, "AB told ownership, meeting coming." People lost their minds because this wasn't about a quarterback battle. This wasn't about scheme fit. This wasn't even about winning or losing. This was about a coach disrespecting a player so blatantly that the GM felt the need escalated to the owner. And just when the story couldn't get uglier, it did. Another anonymous insider, probably the same one who leaked the earlier message, dropped a new DM into the same Discord server. This message was far more dangerous. It said, "Stefanski told someone he doesn't trust Shedeur's background, whatever that means." Screenshots spread everywhere. People debated whether it was real. Some said it was fake. Some said it was misinterpreted. Some said it was out of context. But the damage was already done. Because when you use the word background near a player with the last name Sanders, the internet doesn't play around. NFL analysts began questioning Stefanski's locker room cultural awareness. Fans started attacking the coach's character. Commentators accused him of having hidden biases. And the Browns' PR team scrambled to put out tiny fires while the entire fan base was dealing with a full-blown wildfire. But the biggest moment, the one that turned this into a full Hollywood-level scandal, came from one person nobody expected, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime himself. He didn't tag the Browns. He didn't mention names. He didn't call anyone out. He just posted one cryptic tweet. "Keep disrespecting my son. Watch what happens." That tweet reached 10 million views in 3 hours. And that's when the NFL officially stepped in. Reporters requested statements. Ownership panicked. The Browns facility went into lockdown. Staffers were told not to talk to media. Coaches avoided hallways. Players whispered in clusters like kids hiding gossip during recess. Inside sources said Andrew Barry didn't even wait for meetings. He marched straight into Stefanski's office that afternoon. People nearby heard voices rising, not screaming, but sharp, firm, heated. Words like accountability, organizational direction, and communication failure echoed through the hall. Someone claimed they heard Barry say, "You're not going to ruin this kid. Not on my watch. Whether that's true, nobody knows. But considering the storm outside the walls, it fits the moment too perfectly. Suddenly, reporters were circling the building like vultures, waiting for the first sign of a collapse. One journalist posted, "Never seen this much tension in Cleveland since the Baker era." Meanwhile, players inside the locker room didn't know whose side to take. Some defended Stefanski, others defended Shedeur, and some just wanted the chaos to stop. Leadership, it felt fractured. Chemistry, barely hanging together by tape and hope. But just when we thought the scandal reached its peak, just when fans believed nothing more could possibly happen, another name came up. A name that changed the entire storyline. A name nobody expected. A name with her own history inside the Browns organization and her own secrets. The moment her name resurfaced inside the Browns building, everything shifted. It wasn't loud. It wasn't public. It didn't hit Twitter or ESPN. It started as a whisper, one of those whispers that doesn't need volume to feel dangerous. Someone in the facility, someone who should have known better, typed her initial in a private group chat and instantly regretted it. Elle is watching all this. The message read, one letter. That's all it took. Players didn't react, but staff members did, because everyone who knew her knew exactly what that meant. She wasn't a player. She wasn't a coach. She wasn't some random social media intern. She used to work deep inside the quarterback development and analytics department, the kind of position where you hear everything, see everything, and end up knowing way more than you're supposed to. She left quietly months ago. No farewell post, no goodbyes, no public explanation. One day she was there, working late nights, headphones in, eyes focused on film breakdowns. The next day, gone, badge deactivated. Her desk cleared. No one talked about it. No one asked questions. But everyone noticed. And now her name was back, floating through the air like smoke from a fire nobody wanted to acknowledge. People outside the organization didn't know she existed. Fans had never heard of her. The media never even said her name. But the people inside the Browns building, they remembered the way she worked. Quiet, observant, always calm, always listening. She wasn't dramatic. She didn't gossip. But when she knew something wasn't right, she'd tighten her jaw slightly, tilt her head, and you could almost hear the mental screenshots being taken. That's what made her dangerous. That's why her name reappearing at the height of Stefanski, Shedeur meltdown shook everyone. Because when someone who knows that much leaves without closure, they don't forget, they don't forgive, and they definitely don't disappear. What made everything worse was a rumor. Nobody knew if it was real, but nobody doubted it either, that she and Shedeur had built a good rapport during off-season drills. Not a romantic thing, not a messy thing, just the kind of professional trust where she believed in his potential more than some coaches did. She told one person once, "He's got the mind for this game. He just needs someone to see him." And apparently, Stefanski did not appreciate her giving opinions outside her lane. One staff member later claimed Stefanski shut her out of quarterback meetings. Another said she confronted the coaching staff over the way they were handling Shedeur's preseason reps. Then came the tension, the closed doors, the cold shoulders, and 3 weeks later, she was gone. That's why her name returning now, right when the quarterback controversy hit DEFCON 1, was like reopening a wound the organization thought it had buried. And just as fear started spreading about what Elle might know, what she might have saved, and what she might say, a new leak hit the internet. Not an audio clip, not a text message, a blurry picture, no context, no caption, just a photo of a white USB drive sitting on a desk next to a Browns practice schedule with her initials written on a post-it note. Internet detectives went crazy. Who took the picture? Why was the USB still inside the building? Did someone find it? Did she leave it behind on purpose? Was this the infamous file insiders whispered about? People online started creating theories faster than the team could deny them. Some said the USB contained internal conversations about Shedeur. Others said it had recordings of quarterback meetings where Stefanski allegedly downplayed his development. Some fans even joked that it had Stefanski's Madden playbook. But inside the building, nobody was laughing. because everyone knew she kept receipts. The question was, what kind? Meanwhile, things were unraveling fast for the coaching staff. Stefanski walked around the facility with the stiff posture of someone pretending nothing was wrong while everyone whispered behind his back. Assistants avoided eye contact. Analysts started screenshotting their own messages, just in case. You never want to work in a building where people start protecting themselves individually instead of working as a team. That's when everyone knew the culture was cracking. Then came the interview clip, the one that lit the fuse under the entire franchise. During a small local radio hit, Stefanski tried once again to minimize the situation. He said the quarterback room was fluid and insisted no player has earned more than anyone else yet. But then, right at the end, he slipped. He said, "We need guys we can trust in big moments." And the moment that audio hit Twitter, people instantly began asking, who exactly is he saying he can't trust? The backlash exploded instantly. Commentators called it disrespectful. Fans called it divisive. Even former players chimed in, saying Stefanski's wording was reckless and tone-deaf. And then Deion Sanders posted again. Not angry, not aggressive, just a short message. Keep trying him. That tweet hit harder than any press conference. The Browns front office knew they couldn't contain this anymore. Andrew Berry scheduled an emergency meeting, just him and Stefanski. People walking past the conference room said they didn't hear yelling, but they heard something worse. Silence. Long stretches of silence broken by sharp, quiet sentences. Controlled tension. Two men who both knew the situation had reached a point of no return. And while all this chaos erupted inside the building, Shedeur stayed Shedeur. Calm, focused, laser-eyed, showing up to workouts early, leaving late, not responding to anything publicly. But occasionally, when he thought no one was looking, he'd stare off for a few seconds longer than usual, like someone replaying conversations in his head, like someone deciding which parts to forget and which parts to fuel, because whether he admitted it or not, being ignored changes something inside a person. It doesn't break them, it sharpens them. But then, something happened, something nobody expected. At 11:17 p.m. on a Thursday night, the internet exploded with video taken from what looked like a restaurant parking lot. In the video, a woman who looked exactly like Elle, same hairstyle, same posture, same calm expression, was seen talking to a man wearing Browns gear. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't avoiding cameras. She stood there like someone who finally felt free. People zoomed in, slowed it down, stabilized it. And then fans noticed something in her hand, a small white USB, the same type from a leaked photo. The moment people realized that, the clip went viral instantly. She's back. It's real. The file exists. Theories exploded everywhere. Inside the Browns facility, the next morning, people were pale. Nobody talked. Nobody joked. Even Stefanski walked in slower than usual. And by noon, Andrew Berry made a move nobody thought he'd make that fast. He pulled Stefanski aside and informed him of an internal review. Staff members said Stefanski's jaw clenched so hard it looked like it might crack. But he didn't fight it. He didn't argue. He just nodded. Because deep down, he knew what everyone else knew. This wasn't just about football anymore. This was about trust, about respect, about leadership, and about all the cracks that had finally burst open. As for Elle, she vanished again. No posts, no statements, no interviews, not even a rumor. One night, she appeared with a USB. The next day, she was gone like smoke in the dark. But the secrets she left behind, those stayed. They stayed in the walls of the Browns facility. They stayed in the minds of the players. They stayed in the decisions Andrew Berry made after that. And most importantly, they stayed with Shedeur, fueling him for whatever came next. Because she didn't need to speak publicly. She didn't need to expose anything herself. Sometimes silence is the loudest revenge, and sometimes disappearing is the most powerful statement of all. She vanished without a trace, but the secret stayed. And now we're standing at the edge of something bigger than a quarterback controversy, bigger than a coaching disagreement, bigger than one bad decision in a locker room full of cameras, because what we witnessed wasn't just a moment. It was the beginning of a storyline the NFL has never seen unfold so openly. A GM drawing a line in the sand, a head coach fighting ghosts he created himself, a rookie quarterback who never asked for the spotlight, yet somehow ends up carrying the weight of an entire franchise's future, and a woman who walked away quietly, only to return with proof that the truth doesn't stay buried forever. This wasn't just drama, this was a warning shot, a crack in the foundation big enough for the entire world to see. And trust me, if this is what leaked already, imagine what's still hiding in the shadows. Imagine the conversations behind closed doors, the messages sent at midnight, the back-channel calls, the regrets, the shifting alliances. Because scandals don't end when the news cycle calms down. They end when the people involved finally stop fighting the truth. And absolutely nobody in Cleveland has reached that point yet. So now the question shifts to you, the one watching, the one listening, the one trying to piece this puzzle together the same way we are. What do you think really happened behind those meetings? Who's telling the truth? Who's protecting their ego? Who's protecting the franchise? And most importantly, who's protecting Shedeur? Because this story isn't over, not even close. If anything, this is just the first storm cloud before the real thunder hits. And when it hits, you'll want to be right here with us. So hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on every notification you got. Because Spill News doesn't just break stories. We follow every crack until the whole thing collapses. And trust me, the next update might be the one that changes everything.